Hey everyone, thanks for joining us again on yet another episode of the Married in the Market podcast. I'm Naveed.
I'm Anna.
Guys, today our guest is someone truly special. It's someone who's shaped my life, who's been a role model, a coach, and a mentor right throughout my life through and through. But beyond all of these things, it's someone who's spent close to 50 years in the UAE, a true veteran of the sand. And I'm so excited to bring him on our podcast today so he can share all of his perspectives and stories with you. So, without further ado, welcome, Dad. It's really nice to have you on the podcast.
Hi, both. Really nice to be here with you. And I'd love to share whatever experiences I've had in the last 48 to 50 years here. So, really nice to have you both.
So that I guess one of the first questions we have, and I guess everybody watching and listening would love to know, is that so many all those years ago when you decided to move here, what really drew you to move to the UAE and Dubai? Like being a young kid, starry-eyed kid, so many years ago. So what was the appeal and what really attracted you to move to Dubai all those many years ago?
Okay, so I was in college. I was doing my college in India, and I was doing my graduation. And I was always had this dream that I wanted to go overseas. Where overseas, I had no idea because that was in 1970, 71, 72. I had no idea where overseas. And my mother, for some reason, had some family connections in Spain and in UAE. So she spoke around within the family, and there was one opening in Abu Dhabi. And also, besides that, just one step back, I also wanted some make some money on my own. Now, I only had a pocket money of 15 rupees per week in those days. My father was in the army. Army didn't pay very well those days. So my pocket money was only 15 per week, and which lasted for approximately 1 or 2 days. So I used to tell my mom that I really want to go overseas and work and make my own money. So she went around, as I said earlier, speaking to the family, and there was an opening in Abu Dhabi. So the gentleman came, the owner of the company came. He saw me, he interviewed me, he liked me, and he also liked the fact that I used to play a lot of squash because he was a squash player himself. So immediately on the spot, he offered me a salary of 600 dirhams, which in those days translated to 1,300 rupees. I had never seen 1,300 rupees in my life. So I immediately jumped at the opportunity, and I started to prepare myself, and I landed in Abu Dhabi in the mid to late 70s. Then it was my work was basically at a department store. I was a store counter salesman. I was 18 years of age. I had just about finished graduation. I was 18 and a half years of age, and he taught me the how to talk to customers, what to do, what not to do. So I started my life from there, and that was my really my the the window that opened for me to come there. So that's the answer to your first question as to what led me here and why did I want to come overseas.
And you never looked back ever
I
since, and the
never
rest
looked
is
back.
history.
So I'll tell. Okay, so I'll go up further. So what happened was I was getting homesick, and at about in again in the late 70s, I became homesick, and then I told my boss, look, I can't handle this anymore. We used to stay in mud brick houses,
Wow.
and we used to have no power for 2 days, 3 days continuously. And we used to go to the airport, drive to the airport, and stay in the airport terminal because the airport terminal was air conditioned. So we would sleep there in the lounge in the chair, come back in the morning at 5, 6 o'clock, change, and then go to work. So that was the kind of life we led. We were bachelors. We used to sometimes eat canned food. We used to eat, maybe cook food at home, little bit. So that's what. But that hard life was so hard for me that I actually sometimes used to wonder what am I doing here. So I went back and took what is called a sabbatical for, say, a year. I went back to India. I started doing some work in India, but I didn't like India at all at that time because I had already tasted blood abroad. And I also didn't make that kind of money in India. The 1,300 rupees was a huge amount for me. So I again got a flight back and I came back this time to Dubai, not to Abu Dhabi, because I had some family and relatives in Dubai. And through their help and through their guidance, I was able to find a few jobs. What I realized in those days was that two things were very important in this country. One was speaking fluent English, and the second was to get a UAE driving license. Now, my English, fortunately, was good because I was always from the convent schools. And then I worked myself on a UAE driving license. And the UAE driving license in those days was like a university degree. If you had a UAE driving license, it automatically opened windows, doors, everything it opened for you.
Wow.
And once I got that in 1979 or 78, I can't remember, uh, I had sales jobs coming into falling into my lap. I had so many openings. I made so many visits, so many interviews, and I passed every single interview. I knew when I was going to go for a job interview, I'd get it. I didn't even. I was so confident because of my English and my UAE driving license. So that was another part of the. So then growth kept happening, and I never looked back.
So how did Dubai at the end of 1970s, beginning of 80s look like?
It was pure just sand. It was only sand, and it was few mud brick houses, what we used to call in those days Bedouin villas. So those were Bedouin villas where a part of the house would be open in the middle. It used to be a patio, an open patio, and we used to have small rooms, and it used to be only we used to just bring sand in all the time. Roads were few and far between. But what I have to say is the ruling families of Abu Dhabi and Dubai, they have had so much of vision in their thinking and in their in their growth stories. What it is today is amazing. Like somebody from America said, who came here, a visitor, he was an actor, I remember his words. He said, they have done all this in 50 years. You cannot build a country like this in 50 years. That's what it's
So
taken.
true.
It's taken 50 years to come to where we are. And we have now reached whatever. We are, as you see, we are. And it's an amazing growth. And the ruling families, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, has done a fabulous job. His father, Sheikh Rashid, who was actually not his father, but he was the father of the nation. In our days, we used to call him the father of the nation. I remember when he passed away, the whole country cried, and I cried too, because he was so lovable, such a lovable man, and he loved everybody, and especially towards expatriates and Indians. He just loved us. He made sure that we got fair treatment everywhere.
Wow.
So I really give my compliments and my best to the ruling family, to His Highness Sheikh Rashid, to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, the way they have grown this country.
Yeah, and we still do feel the same.
Yes.
Even
Exactly.
nowadays that we
Yes.
are loved
Yes.
by UAE
Yes,
citizens.
absolutely.
Maybe in your own country you cannot be loved by your government,
agree,
but
I agree,
here we are
yes.
welcomed, right? So it's amazing.
It's like we always say, the government and like the ruling families have always been so embracing and so welcoming and warm, regardless of wherever you're from, race, religion, culture, whatever it may be.
So, as I used to say, and I was always saying this to my friends, they was to always tell me, "What are you doing in the Gulf? Why are you there for so long? We have so many openings back home in India." I said, "No, you don't know the kind of life and I was talking in the 80s. That was not even one third of what we are today. I mean, I sometimes I sit and compare in the mid 80s, even late 80s, when we started to grow a little bit in the UAE. I used to tell my friends back home that you don't know what kind of a living I have. And by then I had grown. And I had a car, and I used to live in a proper 2-bedroom apartment, although we used to share because we were bachelors. And but the living, the lifestyle, the infrastructure, the roads, even in those days, was far better than back home in India, back from in any other country. Today it's something else. Today it's a dream. And I use this as my tagline always now: Dubai is a diamond in the desert. It's an unbelievable city, and it's the best city on the planet along with Abu Dhabi. But somehow the force and the expatriate force has come more in Dubai than in Abu Dhabi. I think because Dubai moved forward with its property explosion,
Right.
and from those days, that's why the interest in Dubai. Going back again, I'll talk about a little on the property explosion, when it started and how it started. In the late 90s, early 2000s, the property launches started happening. You will not believe, it was full. It was sold out within 1 hour or 2 hours. There was so much of interest shown by people, by expatriates, and mostly expatriates. And different launches were taking, and every single launch was being sold out within 2 hours, 3 hours. I remember standing in a line and waiting for my turn. We used to get a token, and we used to then take that token and go inside and make a payment, whatever the 10% ask was. Come out, and the agents would say, "Sir, give me your property. I will give you 5%, 10% on top."
Were these the brokers that were saying that
They were the
in
brokers.
the line?
Yes, they were, and they were standing there all night and all morning, and they just wouldn't get. So it was crazy. It was crazy.
Nothing changed, right?
I think it's the same now.
Same,
Also, it's the
same.
same
Pretty
now.
much.
Yeah, pretty much the same now. So it is, and they have. This is all vision. This is all vision, and again, I keep coming back to Dubai ever since we retired. So we retired in 2021 post COVID. Even then, much to my dislike, we went back to India. We settled in, and I remember I told you, my son, that I really want to keep being a resident of Dubai, because you can, as they say, you can leave Dubai, but Dubai will not leave you. So that was literally my story, that Dubai didn't leave me. And I remember I pushed my son to invest and make himself, so that we can be part and parcel of the family sponsorship as well.
And our mom and dad are golden visa.
So now we are
holders,
golden visa
residents.
holders. All these facilities that the government has given, golden visas. And even earlier, I remember you couldn't start a business without a local sponsor. Now all that is in the past. Now you can have a company, you can have free zone, you have so many facilities, you have so many options that you can explore as an expatriate.
So basically, Dubai in your DNA, let's say.
Yes, absolutely, in my DNA. Correct. Dubai is in my, and as you know, as you see, we keep coming back every 3-4 months. So it's amazing. I mean,
Whenever you guys come, does mom always say the same thing at the airport when she stands in the immigration? I always say this to everybody we meet. I think that she has this same thing that she says, because she's so amazed when she's at the airport, right?
Absolutely. So for those people still looking forward to wanting to come here, I would say it's an amazing country, and you should think about it. And again, you should not think twice. You should just come and invest your money, live here. Now I'll give you some examples. In the 80s, we didn't have good health facilities.
Right.
Today in Dubai, we are at a stage where the NHS from UK sends their patients to Healthcare City to look at their patients on behalf of NHS.
Wow.
That's where we have reached now in Dubai. Look at education. Education, we have some of the best colleges in Dubai. The English College, the American College, hospitality. You
Exactly.
graduated from hospitality, which was affiliated to a Swiss college. So you have everything here. You have the infrastructure. You have I look at the technology, where the technology has reached in this part of the world. It beats anywhere. It beats America. It beats Europe. It's amazing that the facilities that have been given. That apart, look at the quick commerce that has been developed today. At home you get deliveries within 10-15 minutes because of quick commerce, and you don't even have to step into a supermarket for for,
Exactly.
for
Exactly.
anything, you know. So these facilities, you don't have it anywhere. Forget, people in Canada call me and tell me, you get food delivered in 15 minutes. Yes, we get food delivered in Dubai in 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and even groceries. He said, there we with rain, shine, snow, we have to go to the supermarket. I said, well, and another thing, most important thing, sunshine. It's
Yeah.
sunshine city all the time. And you know, sunshine is about 10,000 dirhams of your salary, because you don't have gray skies, raining all the time, water flooding all the time. You have
Snow.
so many things with the sunshine. It's healthy and it's good for health. All these facilities are there today in Dubai.
And it's tax free, as we always say.
And it's okay.
This
That
is the
is, of
main one
course.
of the main things.
That's the given. But it's one of the main draws back then, and I think it's still one of the main draws.
Yes.
It's a tax free haven.
Yes. So that was another very, very big advantage for us, that all our income we would be credited to our accounts. It still is the same, and we don't pay any income taxes here, unlike our home countries wherever we come from. So that's a big advantage. The tax-free part came in, was always there, and we used to transfer money all the time. And another huge advantage for expatriates here is, be it Indian or Filipinos or anybody, the the power of the dirham has stayed against the dollar at the same value when I came in the late 70s. The UAE dirham has not devalued. Other currencies across the world have devalued.
Yeah.
Therefore, giving you such a powerful benefit to repatriate your money and funds back home. I remember when I came, it was 2 rupees to the dirham. Today it's 23 rupees to the dirham. So the Indian expatriate repatriating money today has benefiting so much by sending money to his family back home at the rate of 22, 23, and so be it for all other countries, even if it's Philippines or Russia or wherever. So this advantage is huge,
Yeah.
that the currency doesn't fluctuate at all. It's a very strong currency.
I want to digress a little bit now. So late 70s, early 80s, like how was it, like what was there to do? Obviously I can't go on much about what there is to do now in terms of activities and everything in Dubai, because
Nowadays, it's plenty of
it's
options
I think
for
it's
entertainment.
incredible. Like when I was growing up, even I remember there was a handful of spots that you can go to. But
Right.
what did you and your friends used to do? I really, really want to know.
Right. So very good question. So we used to have literally 2 or 3 clubs, sports clubs, uh, where we used to have bowling alleys and squash courts and whatever have you. That was one outlet that we had. In the evenings, we used to either have home parties, home get-togethers, or we used to go to some very small restaurants, literally restricted restaurants at five-star hotels, which used to be called in those days Dubai Abu Dhabi Road. Today it's
Yeah.
called Sheikh Zayed Road. So we used to say, oh, there's this five-star hotel, so and so five-star hotel on Dubai Abu Dhabi Road. It is just after the first interchange or the second interchange, and there used to be a local hotel there, a local restaurant there, a local bar there, and that's where we used to meet. But most of the time, we used to meet at sports clubs, because I was a squash player, and we had many, and slowly and steadily, some of these clubs, these sports clubs, they kept coming and springing up, and I was exposed to a lot of these clubs, And that's how we really passed our time. There wasn't, there wasn't so many gated communities or villa communities that have their own health clubs and own
So
facilities.
true.
We
Yeah.
didn't have those in those days. We had apartments, we had flats, we had 1 BHK, 2 BHK, sort of apartments where we used to just hang out and do our own thing at home. So there wasn't really much to do to answer your question. And also during Ramadan, we used to have a lot of restrictions
Oh, yeah.
because that's the way it was, and that's the way we have to respect the law of the land. And we couldn't eat or drink during the fasting hours. But now it's a completely a different
We're
story.
still
Yeah.
shocked
Yeah,
when you
it's
come,
completely a
especially
different
during
story now.
Ramadan.
I don't even see Ramadan happening.
You don't notice it.
So, yes, so what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to get at is that the vision of the ruling families has changed UAE so much that it's an unbelievable change, you know. And I would encourage anybody to come and live here.
Let's talk about our ruler, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. I guess since his ruling time started, Dubai changed like 180-degree, and he is the one of the main person who made Dubai as it is now. So, do you remember when the first skyscraper came?
Yes, good question again. So, in I used to shuttle between Dubai and Abu Dhabi very often on work, a lot. And we used to have just one single track road, and the road was divided into two with the paint on the road, and it was the same road go and same road come. The first skyscraper that I remember when I saw on those roads when I used to come and go, was the World Trade Center. The World Trade Center, if I remember well in my memory, came up in 1979, somewhere there. And that was the iconic landmark of Dubai after the Dera Clock Tower. The Dera Clock Tower was always the landmark of Dubai. Then the Trade Center came up, and it was an iconic skyscraper that came up on Dubai Abu Dhabi Road in those days. Toyota building was also another landmark on Dubai Abu Dhabi Road. When you hit Toyota building, you knew that you have now entered Dubai. So that was another. It was a residential block of apartments, and these were the two skyscrapers, literally, so to speak, skyscrapers in Dubai: the Toyota building and the World Trade Center. Then World Trade Center expanded, and it made into apartments, and it made into health club, and it made into all of
Yeah,
that.
they're still nowadays
They're
there.
still there. World Trade Center still exists, and it's expanded so much. It's expanded tremendously. So that was the time that the first skyscraper came in. Today, Dubai is only got skyscrapers and skyscrapers. It is a Manhattan. I mean,
Exactly.
a Manhattan of the Middle East.
And you've seen the evolution. I always say to Anna, from sand dunes to skyscrapers, and you've
Yes.
seen it all.
Totally.
Like right throughout.
Totally.
I want to circle back just a little bit about real estate and property, since we touched upon it briefly. So in 2002 and 2003, as we're aware, the government introduced freehold properties, wherein expats and residents could buy freehold properties. Foreigners could own properties here. And how have you seen real estate and properties, I guess, shift and evolve and change? Because you give us an example about how used to be,
Launch time.
during the launch time when the big developers used to launch. How have you seen it like throughout the crisis times, let's say? So it was 08,
Right.
2012, 2014, and
Right.
until now.
So, okay, so we'll start from the beginning. Once the launches were happening, and as I said earlier, that it was being sold out, during 2008, when the Lehman financial crisis happened, of course, the whole world was impacted, and so was UAE. Of course, the prices came tumbling down, and everyone was affected, including me. So, as they say in those days, when you see blood on the streets, you need to be greedy. Now, that's all. It's all good for saying, but people also were scared. We didn't know what was happening ahead. But again, I have to give it to the ruling family that they just didn't stop any project.
Absolutely,
The
yeah.
projects went on and the projects went on, and nobody looked back. People were buying. Of course, people who bought at those times, they were smart because they were buying smart and they were buying much cheaper than anybody. Now, in those days, prices had actually dipped from almost 2002 3 when the Lehman crisis happened by less than half. If
Okay.
it was 100 dirhams, it came down to 30 and 40 dirhams.
Wow.
The price, the value of a property. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
My property came, which I bought for, booked rather, for 1.85 million, came down to 700,000.
Wow.
So you can imagine how much of loss I would have incurred had I held on. Now, a lot of the properties, projects, what happened after the Lehman crisis were cancelled because the people went out of pocket. I mean, some of the developers went out of pocket, so they didn't can. But the big boys who are there, the big names, they hung in there, they stayed there, and they didn't inch at all. In fact, they got the advantage of those developers who backed out. So they continued their projects, and they made some fabulous projects even in those days. And I see it today. The quality of construction. I say this to everybody in India. You should see the quality of construction in Dubai. It is outstanding. The quality of construction that we use here, the finishing of the properties that we use here, it is absolutely outstanding. It is better than any European, new structure or any American structure.
I mean, just look at the examples of amenities and facilities in these projects today. I mean, the one that we picked up a few months ago, Anna and me, we picked up a unit each. 35 amenities in a building, and some even close to 40.
Yes.
In some buildings in the Western world, in Europe, you don't even have pools, let alone a gym.
Yes.
Here you've got, I don't know, cigar lounges, co-working spaces,
Spa zone.
spa zones,
Steam
zen
room.
gardens. The list goes on.
Dog parks. Yeah.
Dog parks.
It's amazing. Again, I give full marks to the big developers and people who've come in now later. There are so many I see springing up every day. But I think the quality and the class and the finesse has been kept by the big boys, by the big names.
Yeah.
And they have been the ones who've really maintained the standards. And today I would not even bat an eyelid, or I would tell both of you, to buy, if you're buying, buy with one of the big boys, because you know what
Exactly.
you're getting into, what you're getting, the quality, the style, and the standards, which is most important.
And as I know, you have your own story about flipping.
So, yes, when I bought this property for 1.85 million, I paid my deposit of 185,000. So I came out and I didn't know what to do with it, because 185,000 dirhams for me in 2005-6 was a lot of money. It was a lot of money.
Decent
for me.
amount, yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to flip it. I wanted to get my investment out immediately. So I contacted some people, some brokers, my friends, and everybody. And one of my friends, who's still very dear to me, said, Raj, I'll give you 5%. I said, no, I'll take 10%. Take it or leave it. And this was in the waterfront in Jebel Ali. So here I was, and I gave my papers, my contract papers. The deal was that when you do a flipping on an MOU, you have to give the original contract to the buyer. So I gave my original contract to the buyer, and he gave me my amount that I paid plus the 10% on the value of the property at that time. So that
So
was
basically, that's why bubble in real estate in the UAE happened back that day. There was
Yes.
no RERA.
Yes.
RERA was established in 2007, July, as I remember.
Yes. Yeah.
Nothing was regulated.
Yes.
That's why bubble happened.
Yes.
Now a lot of these rumors talking about like, oh, again, bubble. It's not going to happen, because everything from A to Z, from the scratch, it's regulated by the government. correct?
Correct.
So, and I heard a lot of stories from those investors from 2005, 6, 7, how the flipping, exactly it was happening like that.
Yes.
Nothing was registered.
Nothing.
I will buy from you,
Yes.
you will buy from the developer, then tomorrow morning you will resell
Same
me.
day.
And
Yes.
then another...
You can sell it to anyone
It
else
was all
in the line
verbal.
and the
It was
queue.
all verbal.
There was no
nothing.
MOUs or anything.
MOU was made between us, just a paper
Buyer to
piece
but
of
seller.
paper,
not
that's it.
registered in the system.
No,
let's
not
say.
registered.
Not registered in
we
the
didn't
land
have the
department.
facility for registration. There was no registration facility. So we just did it verbal, and people made money. People made money.
So since we nowadays we have RERA, there is no reason to be worried that
Yeah,
it
no.
is a bubble. It's not a
Correct.
bubble at all.
Yes.
At all. So even in my experience, let's say, in 2021 price was 1, 2025 price is different. So, but I'm still keeping to investing into the property. Doesn't matter. It's of course it goes up. Inflation, whatever, the oil, the material, right? Everything
Exactly.
it's all prices are going up. So it is understandable, and the pure investor has to keep doing it. It is
Smart investors keep on
it
doing
it links to either, if we are talking about stocks, bonds, and also real estate.
Yes. So yes, absolutely right, Anna. That today it's all regulated, and it's it is no longer a bubble. The government has got its complete control on the real estate, and therefore it just keeps growing. And I am so positive about this market that I keep saying to myself and to you both that keep investing here, keep investing here. Nothing is going to go wrong here, because there is so much of positivity here, and the way the government approaches every single project. For example, I'll give you, I've never seen any country that has got a minister of happiness. There is
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
minister of happiness
Yeah.
in this country to see if you are living here happily or not. Have you even heard of this anywhere? So these kind of things. These are things that would attract anybody to come to the country.
Dad, whenever you come here, you get so, I guess, surprised about how many areas and districts and places there are now in Dubai. And I want you to just tell us, like, when you were growing up, what were the major places to live and work? Because I remember a few growing up, of course, but tell us, like, since the 80s until that time, what were the areas that existed in Dubai that were the places to go, places to meet, work, and live?
Right. So there were very few actually. The main ones where we used to stay was Bardubai. In Bardubai was the main hub of Dubai in those days. From Bardubai, and the other one was when we used to cross the creek, we'd go to the Sabka area, we'd go to the Dera fish market area, Hamriya area. These were all livable areas. Today, and even in those days, there were a lot of Emirati families staying in the Hamriya area, and in Dera, near the fish roundabout, which was called Fridge Murar, which is still called now. A lot of Indians had actually based themselves in Dera, because what happened was that the gold souk was predominantly available on the Dera side of the creek. So everybody who was in the gold business wanted to live on the Dera side. Now, gold business is monopolized again by Indians. So all the Indians, they sort of congregated at Dera Gold Souk and on the Dera side. So though that was a huge residential area in Dera side, Hamriya was very much Emirati. Hamriya, Horlands, this was Emirati area. Now, then you come this side of the Shindaga, you have Bardubai, where you have the textile market, and again part of the gold souk opened there, but predominantly textile market. Indian restaurants were based in Bardubai. Then, of course, you have the good old Al Karama, which was the iconic landmark of Dubai in those days. Al Karama still exists, And I was an Al Karama resident for a long time as a bachelor. And Al Karama then started opening a shopping complex, and a lot of shops opened there. Those shops are still there. I see them. I still go there and shop for old time's sake sometimes. Yes, I still go there.
Nostalgia.
Yes, nostalgia. And we had one theater, Al Nasr Cinema, in those days.
No,
Just
there was
one
only
theater,
one.
only one theater. And behind Al Nasr Cinema used to be Al Nasr Leisureland, which I think still exists. So these were the places to go to. Al Nasr Club was my favorite, to go and play squash, and for work. And another area that started developing very quickly was Satwa. Satwa, Diafa Street, all that area developed very, very quickly. And a lot of the Filipino community, for some reason, they prefer to stay in Satwa. And they are still residents of Satwa and Al Karama. Most of the Filipinos you'll find are staying in Satwa and Al Karama, and Indians. So, and work-wise, we used to never go beyond Toyota building. There wasn't any work beyond Toyota building. There was no office, there was no building, there was
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, yeah.
You know, everything was in Bar Dubai, everything was in Karama, everything was this side of the Toyota building, or not even Toyota building was also far away. I would say the World Trade Center. Everything was World Trade Center was the
It was like the
maximum,
boundary or
the
the border
boundary.
or something.
You can't work beyond Trade Center because there was
Yeah.
nothing there. There was only, some one, beside Toyota building. On the other side, there was another Sheikh Rashid building. I'm not sure if it still exists. It was there. It had some offices, but that's it. So you could just work either in Dera side or in Bardubai side and up to the Trade Center.
The only two other landmarks I think that I can remember as a kid was on that road was Hard Rock Cafe.
Yes.
And I remember Metroplex or
Yes,
Metropolitan.
Metropolitan
something.
Hotel.
That's the only thing that I remember
Yes.
after that stretch.
Yes. So Hard Rock Cafe came up in the mid 90s, early to mid 90s. It was another iconic building that came up on I'll keep saying
Dubai,
Abu
Abu
Dhabi
Dhabi
Road
Highway.
because it was not Sheikh Zayed Road then. So Hard Rock Cafe came up with this huge guitar.
The building with the two guitars.
There. It was when we used to frequent it, because that was another good huge restaurant opened up, and we used to frequent it very often. And of course, Dubai Metropolitan Hotel was there, which had a lot of nice restaurants. It was a 5-star. So we used to frequent the hotel as well, and pretty much that was it. Then the phenomenal growth on Sheikh Zayed Road happened, from what I remember, after 2005, 6, 7, once the Emirates Towers came up. I can't exactly remember when you were in college. Emirates Towers came up, I think, in 2002, 3, 5, somewhere
Early
there,
2000s,
somewhere there, and that was the start and the building of Sheikh Zayed Road, and it is what it is today. It's
So
as
it
I said
started
earlier,
exactly from
it's
there.
a Manhattan of the Middle East.
Exactly. I think we can really sit and talk for hours and days because Dad has so much of knowledge. You're like the literal encyclopedia or like a fountain of knowledge that's never ending. You've got so much of insight, so many stories, so much of perspectives to share. It's been truly amazing. And for me hearing, because I've never heard these stories and you speak about Dubai and the UAE from your lens, basically. And it's been truly so inspiring for me even. Like some of the things that Dad's been saying is like, I get goosebumps when I think about these things, because it resonates so much when you speak like this. So, I mean, it's
Even just to
amazing.
put some closures onto this. For example, in the good old days, when we put you into school, there wasn't even a proper school. There was Indian high school, and I didn't want Naveed to be studying into the Indian syllabus because I had no intention of sending him to an
Going
Indian
back, yeah,
college,
yeah.
going back to the Indian college. Now, so we had a choice to make. So we sent him to a school which was in a private villa. And I still remember it was a small villa with some classes. So we started him there, and then that school grew and it grew and it grew, and then finally we moved him from there. We moved him to another school, and the institutions just kept growing. Today, I think one of the biggest names of school in institution in Dubai is Dubai Gem,
Gems.
for the
Gems,
Indian
yeah.
standard of education,
Now it's become
and they
a.
have become huge.
It's massive.
The owner, I remember the owner's name is Mr. Sunny Varki, and I think he's done a commendable job by growing education so much here. So even for families, or I want to say is families who want to come here, need not worry about education anymore for their children,
Yeah.
because
So true.
it's all good. It's all good. It's it's affordable education, and not only that. And now I see that they've got medical hospitals to give you training on
Yeah.
physiotherapy, on dental, on various other things that have come up now
Amazing,
recently
yeah.
here.
I was looking at some numbers the other day, and to add to your point, when I was in school, I think there was 5 or 10, like a handful of schools, and now there's something close to 200, 250,
Yes,
and
yes.
another 90 or 100 that are planned,
Yes.
slated to being built. And there's also a plan to have education tourism as a part of the 2033 plan. They have an education agenda, but won't go much into that. But like, look how much we've grown. It's like, it's incredible.
That's what I'm saying. You saw people now, the families who are going to come in now, or who intend to come in, and who want to come in. I would say that there is, you will only see more growth here. This city, this country has grown leaps and bounds. I just read about Russell Khema, where so much of development is happening and has happened. Places like Fujairah, Al Quwain, Russell Khema, Khorfakhan, where I used to go and spend time on the beaches. These have all grown so much, and so in the last 50 years, it's amazing. So I really recommend for people looking at moving to a country, if they want to work overseas and live overseas and have the best of facilities, education and health, UAE is the place.
And God bless the UAE.
God bless
United
you.
Arab
Yes,
Emirates.
yes.
God bless the UAE.
Totally.
Thanks so much, Dad, for coming and
Thank
giving
you.
us so
Thank
much
you, guys.
insight. It's
Thank
been
you so much.
so amazing.
Thank you for having me.